Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Jaden once again. Just finished a workout, so I am a little bit exhausted, but just like the last video, no script, no nothing. Just wanted to talk about this topic because I always want these to be organic as hell, and I do want these to bring real insight and real value. And so this is how you can make your first $5,000 to $10,000 as fast as possible in e-commerce. But I also want to point out that if you're going for too much speed, you could actually really mess yourself up, lose accounts, lose PayPal accounts. Like some of you guys might know, some of you guys might have actually lost PayPal accounts before, or eBay accounts, or Amazon accounts, or payment providers like Stripe if you move too fast and if you make simple mistakes. So the first rule I want to point out, if you want to make your first $5,000 to $10,000 before I really break down how to do it, I want to load you up with the mindset to do it. And a lot of people might think this is stupid or a waste of time, but it's 100% not. This is actually the mental shift I had to make when I actually started working with my Amazon mentor, that it's not just about making fast money. It's really about looking at the customers, the longevity, the satisfaction that people get out of your services. And so back then, when I first started doing Shopify, I was really about just turning hands really quickly, making money, getting the items from the suppliers to shoot them over, not in person obviously, but drop shipping, like getting suppliers lined up, getting websites built out in one night, getting advertisements done by a team within one night, having everything done within like a night, and start trying to make money the next day, start trying to hit 1,000 by the second week, start trying to make 2,000 within the first like 8 to 9 to 10 days, start trying to hit like 10 grand the first month. And as awesome as that is, and as great as that can work, the one thing I noticed about people that move too fast is they would forget. Reason why a lot of these people even started is for the wrong reasons. I actually noticed from one of my mentors who set a really good example for me, and one of the rules he laid out to making six figures was always don't care too much about the money. Obviously care about the money that you're making and doing your finances right, but have the bigger vision in mind of, if you want to do this stuff to raise and take care of your children in a better environment, to bring them to a better school, to be able to put better, things on your clothes, or better clothes on your children's back, or to give them more than you had as a child. A lot of these people are doing it for the wrong reasons. I see like 12 and 15 and 18-year-olds jumping in, just trying to make six figures and trying to like pose on social media and look like they make a lot of money, and just like, it's not all about making the money. I really want to make that clear, that this is really primarily about wanting to take care of customers and wanting to be a business owner for the reasons of being able. I actually had a buddy on Instagram yesterday message me. He's going to be a student soon to my program. He's saving up. He's working hard with his wife. What they want to do is join the program, and they want to actually gut their van and travel across the United States in this little Sprinter van. And I think that is a fantastic goal for this. That is a very good why to start your business, that he wants to be a business owner, to do good business, to be a CEO, to work on his own hours, to be able to quit his job that he's working at right now. And then once he's actually making that kind of money, he wants to gut a van, put a bed in it, put like a little mini fridge in there, have some cool things going, and be able to travel across the United States with his wife. That has been his dream. And I see a lot of people have that. Like, they want to take better care of their kids. They want to do things like that with their wife or their children. They want to be able to move out of the place they're at with nasty people and nasty influence and nasty energy. There's people that just want to literally do it to like take care of their mom. That's kind of why I actually started this stuff, was to retire my mom from her job, get her own Amazon and eBay accounts, which we're working on now. And it's pretty cool to get in a position to be able to do stuff like that. And I think a lot of these guys that start this stuff are like opposed to mentorship and learning from people. But matter of fact, when I started with my mentor, I wasn't in really a good place to be able to retire my mom yet. And after I started working with Amazon and eBay and started seeing real consistent sales, and a couple of years went by since then, and I've scaled things pretty well and to degrees of money that I never really knew I could make, it made that goal a lot more attainable than just trying to make fast money on things like Shopify. So I do want to break that down, that if you want to make your first $5,000 to $10,000 on the internet, make sure you care a lot more about your why than the money getting pushed into your bank account. Because if you start caring about that, you're going to start forgetting about customers. So that brings me to rule number 2, to making 10 to 20,000, 5 to 10,000. And it's when you open up an eBay or an Amazon account and you're drop shipping and you're making profit margins from a supplier's product, selling it to a customer, you're basically turning hands from your supplier, giving it to the customer. So you're turning hands to make yourself a profit margin, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are kind of opposed to that and are thinking that's a bad idea. It's a very, very frugal business model, especially if you maximize on it, work on it every day. Some people start making like $5 a week, then 10, then 5, or then 15, then 50, and it can get to the point where you're making 10 sales a day, 20 sales a day, 30 sales a day. If you have $10 a sale in pure profit and you're making 30 sales, you could be making $200, $300, $400 every single day you're drop shipping, and it can get to this big scale. So don't get too rushed by people on the internet. I did see this one thing that was cool on Instagram. It's like, don't get rushed by people on the internet. No one is showing their failures. So remember, it's more about the baby steps. Getting to $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 on the internet and getting a full-time income is less about thinking about 6 figures and less about thinking about the big goal, but more thinking about, okay, I want to gut this van, have me and my wife go in the Sprinter van, and for me to be able to do that, I need to just go in and talk to these customers on a daily basis. So I read this book, and it's called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, and it taught me something that really helped me in terms of scaling my businesses and managing my businesses to 6 figures in any model that I go into. And the rules are this: there's lag measures in business and lead measures. So a lag measure is, I want to make 6 figures. I want to gut a van and have the money to travel across the United States with my wife and have my business on the internet so I never have to worry about leaving my state or leaving where I'm from. That's your lag measure. Your lead measure is the things you have to do on a daily basis to get there. So what I started doing is actually writing down, this is my lag measure. I want to make 6 figures in this business and give 20,000 to my mom or give 30,000 to my mom. Things like that. That is actually one of my goals right now with one of my new stores. And so for me to be able to bring another Amazon to 6 figures, I have to learn what I'm doing it for. But if I'm only doing that every day, you'll eventually get tired and you're not looking at the actual tasks that are getting you there, and you're just thinking about the macro. Micro and macro correspond greatly. So what I start doing is looking at the lag measures and the lead measures that I learned in 4 Disciplines of Execution. So the lag measure is why you want to do that, and the lead measure is every single process and task you have to do on a daily basis to be able to profit on these platforms. So with things like Amazon, it's going in, logging into your back end and looking at what questions you had that day. Answer every single question. Looking at what orders you had and going to your supplier and buying them for cheaper. You made more money on that sale, you go and buy them for cheaper, you send them over to the customer with the address they provided you when they bought that. All of these things that actually bring you closer to that goal are lead measures, so you can move that lag measure further up and actually eventually be able to hit that lag measure. And I see a lot of people only looking at lag measures in companies. They're like, I want to hit 6 figures. That's all they tell me. Like, we have messages every day and it just gets kind of complacent and boring. It's just like, I just want to hit 6 figures. Like, I'm excited for 6 figures. And then they're getting discouraged because they're not getting to 6 figures in like 2 weeks. And that's all they're thinking in their mind. If you are thinking with that kind of mindset, you will fail immediately after a month or 2 because you're not really knowing what you're doing it for. If you guys have ever seen the anime One Punch Man, it's like he's like the strongest guy in the world. He can do like anything basically, but he doesn't know what he's doing it for, so he hates his life. That's a funny analogy, kind of stupid, kind of corny, but it's literally the same exact thing. Don't get complacent because you're doing it for this small lag measure of, I want to hit 6 figures, I want to be financially free. I see that a lot. I want to be financially free. You have to write down your lag measure on the whiteboard, on the piece of paper every day. Why do you want to do it, and what does it actually take to be able to get there? Because if you don't know the daily processes of what it takes, you're never going to get there. So for me on my whiteboard, I'll actually just pick up the camera for a second, and I do want to show you guys this. On my whiteboard, I have my lag measures. I have my wildly important goal, my lag measure, and my lead measure. And the reason I write this kind of stuff on my whiteboard is because I want people to know exactly, not necessarily other people, but I want to know every single day, why am I doing this? And not just my why, but how am I going to be able to get to that lag measure? So that's rule number 2 to being able to hit your first 5 to 10,000. And then after that, as soon as you write out your lag measures and you know the things that are actually making you profit on a daily basis, make sure you maximize on that. If you are selling a course on Udemy and you know running advertisements on Facebook is where leads come from for selling your course on Udemy, and you know sometimes you can spend $40 to make $200 on a course sale for graphic design, you know your lag measure is, I want to make $4,000 this month, I want to make $10,000 this month, and then your lead measure would be spend $40 on Facebook ads with this ad copy, spend $40 with this ad copy, and once you figure out what works. With me, my lag measure for Amazon's and eBay's is hitting 6 figures a month, $100,000 every month, being able to give some to my mom, being able to help her. And then my lead measures would be actually going in on a daily basis, answering questions, fulfill orders. If somebody wants a refund or they need to process a return, I'll process those. I'll go and delete the items that aren't really doing well, and I'm going to promote the ones that are doing well. I'm going to actually try and acquire buy box. I'm going to see if people are undercutting me on my prices for items that I have doing well. I have around 7 tasks that I go in and do on a daily basis for me to be able to actually make sales on a daily basis. And so if you notice that you just jumped into eBay or Shopify or Amazon, you made 2 or 3 sales, you need to learn the lead measure of how you actually got those sales and then maximize on that. The same Facebook ads aren't always going to work. The same website, the same ad copy is not always going to work, but you do know advertisements are the things that make you sales. So begin to learn to write lead measures out. Make 3 ad copy every day. For me, it's going in on these eBay and Amazon stores, answering questions, fulfilling orders, giving those suppliers the information, shooting those over, doing product research on a daily basis, deleting the items that are getting low views and low watchers on eBay, and then promoting the ones that are, and then filling in the spots of the ones that had low views with items that I do think will sell. And then repeating that process every single day will bring me to my lag measure of hitting 6 figures every single month. Now that is how you can actually quickly be able to hit 6 figures, be able to hit $5, $10, $20,000 on your stores. And if you made it this far and you didn't just stop giving a shit when I was talking about mindset, I really congratulate you, because this is the mindset that my mentor had taught me that actually brought me to 6 figures. It wasn't just about money. It wasn't just about good ad copy. It was never just about the advertisements. It was always about having a mindset to have the goal, but then actually document and track the things that work and make you sales on a daily basis. Because if you have your big goal and then you actually have the predictable and influenceable things that can make you sales on a daily basis, you can predict, me running ads brings me leads. Me having leads and closing them brings me more profit than I spent on the advertisement. And when you can capitalize on those things that are influenceable and predictable, it's predictable that if I run an ad on Instagram to sell my course or to sell an item, I will eventually have a lead messaging me saying, hey, I want to learn. Hey, I want to get a part of this. Hey, I want to buy that sneaker. That was one of my first stores. I ran advertisements for Yeezys, and I had hundreds of inquiries in my DMs, which I never saw before, like one of my first stores. And we ended up making our first $4,000 on that store alone in like the first 3 days, me and my best friend Alex in high school. And that was me not knowing anything about mindset. That was me just putting advertisements together. I was good at graphic design, so I put like a photoshopped Yeezy picture with like all the Yeezys lined up and said 50% off, and we sold those. And it wasn't us having a mindset at that time, but we did the right thing. And that would have been the lead measure of advertisements make leads, which makes sales. If you know the things that are influenceable and predictable on a daily basis that will make sales, then you can track those and just check those off the list every day that I made ad copy today. This advertisement didn't do good, so I deleted it and started a new one. Being able to measure the things that are predictable and influenceable, what I actually learned from a really good buddy of mine is test everything, so that once you find out what doesn't work, you start, it's not about finding out what does work, it's about finding out that what doesn't work, so then you can only put your energy into what you start finding out what does work. Anyway, if you guys really made it to the end of this video, you're some freaking OGs. I absolutely love you. Hit the like button because it does help promote these videos. I'm really trying to blow up this channel and get more exposure because I want to be one of the more organic and transparent people in the community. I see a lot of BS going around and not a lot of people talking about the mindset, but just how to make this money online. Please smash that like button. If you're brand new, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.